That feeling of sacrifice within the team, kind of pushing away family, pushing away relationships with people, it's something you got to do to be at this level. But honestly, you kind of have that self-fulfillment with it as long as everyone around you is doing the same. And it's not easy, but we understand as professionals, and it's our dream to compete at the highest level, that this is something that's needed. Obviously, it's not nice. I text my mom all the time, like, yo, like, I miss you. But being away from home is hard. But at the end of the day, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to be at the top level, and I know the sacrifice is needed.
The kills are starting to come through. The weapons, or the plant, excuse me, has been found. Neto from head to head, he pops them all.
A flank maneuver will catch him. He might catch a lot more. They're all falling down. Their knives out.
It's here inside A heaven. Jonah P also postured up on the angle. Finds an early kill. Showstopper picks up 2 for Trent.
As many people know, our org went through a tough time, and it was pretty nerve-wracking to go through that as a player, but luckily we all just stayed strong and just focused on doing our jobs and doing the best that we can.
There was a lot of hardships from the beginning, even dating to now. We were doing a lot of role swaps and trying to figure out what was, what's the best roles for the team here at the very beginning. Towards the midway, we lost in the mid-season face-off. We lost to G2 and M80, so we're like, we're not better than these teams, like what's going on, right? And then it all kind of came together towards the end, where all the hardship combined with the good came together, and now we're in prime form.
I think our team learned from Challengers that you can't take any opponent lightly, and you have to give each and every team the equal amount of respect and put equal effort into preparation for every match. It's
hard to summarize all the work that was put in to get here. We did a lot. We were practicing 6 days a week, 1 day off, 5 scrims a day, with lots of VOD review. Josh RT loves his VOD review. So, man, just sitting there watching our mistakes. But I'm not gonna lie, it was never easy, right? It is boring watching the VOD. It is frustrating watching you make these like boneheaded mistakes, like, oh, it'll never happen again. But really throughout all of that is what makes those mistakes never happen again, and what makes your team kind of unstoppable.
I think the biggest lesson I learned from Challengers is no matter how rough of a game you're having, if you just focus on doing your job and doing the little things right, that's the best thing that you can do to win your team the game.
I think the biggest lesson that we learned going into this event from all the matches played is just clear head. Like, believe in your team, believe in yourself. Just block out the noise. Don't think too much about what other people are saying. Don't think too much about the result even. Like, just focus on round by round. Just focus on that, and the result will take care of itself. Don't look too far ahead. And if we can keep that going into this event, I think we're gonna look dangerous. What the team has to do to win the whole thing, I think it boils down to, before the match, mental clarity, make sure we're in a very good mental state. We're not worried about the result. We're just focused on the task at hand. In the game, as long as we're micro-calming well, making sure we're updating each other, playing together, everything will then click. And lastly, I think at the end is, after you win the match, is just reset. We're a team that loves to celebrate, especially in the Challengers. You have about a week between matches, but now it's, you win your match, buckle down the next day, you got a match the next day. If we can hit all 3 of those things, I think we're gonna win the whole thing.
I just want to say thank you to the fans. Thank you so much for the overwhelming support throughout this entire season. It means the world to us. We wouldn't be able to be here without you guys. And I just want to say that we're gonna get this spot for Renee. Let's go.
Guard having some confidence in how this whole thing is going to be shaking up, saying that they are going to be claiming that spot. I'm not going to lie, Shift, well, from what we've gotten to see of them so far, I feel like there is some truth backing that a little bit.
What else could you say? I mean, they have been the most consistent team in North America outside of VCT squads ever. Flat out, like, period. I don't know if I have to say anything more than that. Even in the midst of a couple of small roster things here or there, doesn't seem to make much of a difference. This is a team that trusts their process, I think, more than anything else. And that takes, I think, like Valen was mentioning, a lot of composure and a lot of patience. Because very regularly, someone's going to step up and just know the meta and just be a game changer based on whatever the agent composition seems to kind of favor, whether it's things like double initiators, double controllers, maybe a new sentinel gets added in. I think there was going to be a big adjustment period after Chamber was kind of out of the picture. But the thing about it is this team always comes back together with a clear head, and they're always going to bring their A game no matter who they're playing up against. So yeah, it's just so easy to sit here and just favor the Guard after that first map win, a convincing opening first half. They get it over the finish line on defense, and now they're going to their map selection, one of the best teams in the game on Ascent. I mean, come on, you just have to feel really good about what the Guard's putting out there this week.
100%, but they are going up against M80, and I mean M80, when we're looking at NA Challengers, where, you know, the Guard was making the same run they were doing, it was M80 that was coming out on top. It was M80 that was putting these reps and getting these wins down. So we could talk all this good about the Guard, and I believe everything of good about the Guard, but this is still a squad they're going up again that has shown us what they're capable of.
And that's the rule, not underestimating M80. M80, again, has won against the Guard multiple times, has been on top and knows what it's like to get that victory. So that is kind of the mentality that the Guard talked about that they're going to be in as we get to see this agent select for M80 and Guard. I want to mention a little bit about M80. They brought this composition on Ascent that nobody else in North America actually was running towards the beginning. It came from Navi. That was the first time that got played all the way in Europe, and it's something that M80 got to implement, and they found some success in, but we know how good the Guard is here too.
Yeah, they found some success versus Shopify, but here's the problem. They're starting on attack, and for the Guard, it is 70% win rate on defense since the beginning of the calendar year. That's just all you have to say. These guys are unbelievable at it, and if you're M80, you need to come out and find a way to get at least 5 in my mind.
I mean, M80 has shown us that they're more than capable of taking teams distance and taking out these wins. We'll have to see if they have enough of the tank to get it done here as we're loading up Ascent, so it's time for Selling Not Mine to take it away.
This is certainly an interesting one. M80 losing their map pick, guys. This is not something that a lot of people expected. The Americans finding the first map win on the 4th of July must feel good for those of us watching at home, as the Guard, they're now on their favorite map pick, and, you know, they've been pretty dominant thus far.
Yeah, at least from what we've seen recently, but now we focus in. We have to focus in on the fact that M80, not the best of starts on the attacking side. They have to be a lot better than the 9-3 that we just started. Again, USA versus Canada on the 4th of July. The Guard, not exactly the strongest of defenses over towards A, but they do have a lot of delay potential.
And look how slow M80 have elected to play this round, looking for any set piece from the Guard that will come out early on, but there's none of it. They're playing a full retake on the A site, looking to prevent players from getting in towards Under Heaven with the KJ setup. And a minute 10 left. 30 seconds in this round. Not a single bullet has been shot just yet. Once again, that mid-rounding decision between these two teams will be very decisive in this match and in this map. As the M80 team will actually start to accelerate onto this A site, making a very simple exec.
Oh, wow. Net. He doesn't want to move, and there you go. He just utilizes his util. It's a bit of a throw-off for Qualanoob. He ends up getting the kill. Now here comes the rest of the team. 3 players over towards Heaven immediately for the Guard. And there's one over towards Cat already. There goes Jonah P with a pick. Xander getting the retake back. But there goes Tex finally coming out of the Cat side. 2 players here for M80 here to collect the drop. Tex is still alive and still lurking. But it's Jonah P and Trent instead from above to take it down. What a retake from the Guard.
Starting off strong, the Guard in this retake, getting quickly back into this site. And that's what that KJ setup was for, to buy a little bit of time. It's very frustrating to flush a KG out of that back pocket. And you can see the Yuta that was dumped in, a knife, the C's as well, just to flush Net out of his positioning. And all that util and time spent in clearing him out buys time for that Guard team to rotate in, and they were very quickly on that site. M80 struggling already in that pistol round. They've gotten the spike down, and they will go for a 5-stinger buy. This is a map where we're going to see a lot more set pieces and execs from both these teams. The Guard love to get aggressive at times towards A main, and sometimes we'll do shark plays down towards mid. We're going to see a lot more of that than we did on Haven.
They don't know what to expect in this round, so they're just holding, hunkering down. But oh, almost a better idea.
We've seen M80 buy up a couple of times, and they actually shoot that out with the Stinger. And I don't think anyone was in range to hear that, however. Nismo sets up a pop flash in here, or at least a nade, my apologies.
The util from Net not able to do much in terms of holding people back. It's Koala Noob on his lonesome, but he does have trade potential finally coming out. Net not able to do anything. And that's mission accomplished basically here for M80. All they wanted to do was get into sight and get the spike down, but they've taken quite a while. EU forced to come off, but Koala Noob and Xander, a bit of a gift, they're able to take 2 kills back. Everyone from the guard is currently in heaven and looking for frags. There goes Xander picking up the frag back after Jonah P finds 2. A 2v2 now. Trent, he's still up top. He has eyes on the entire situation, and the recon bolt helps. Tex, he could find and isolate Xander, and now it's a 1v2, excuse me,
wow.
with Tex taking down John QT and giving the guard the second.
Very well played again from the guard. Just getting it out of the way, very quick to this retake. But the way they were fighting and isolating these fights, like the cloudburst being thrown from Tex towards A main, meant that M80 couldn't plant. They had 3 players on site, with a 4th being over towards A main. By isolating and getting rid of that A main player, you can't go for the spike plant if you're M80, because then you'll put yourself in a 2 versus 4 with 4 players towering over you in heaven with better guns. They are forced to fight in that situation, and with lesser guns, the guard are much better in team fights there with their weapons. And M80, off to an 0-2 start, will once again light by into this round.
Not exactly struggling to pick their target for this round. They have their mind set on A split at the moment, but they're running into that same KJ setup we just saw in the round before that only Koala Noob can get past. But hold on now. That setup was also almost pretty good. There goes the aftershock that almost covers up the angle. Xander does take back 2 kills. John QT picking up another off the frenzy, and now this one is just expensive.
He closed the door to try and isolate a fight.
No, wait a minute. John QT needing to run away. He almost does so. Trent comes, cuts him off.
Why are they so
That was close. The guard now forced to reinvest once again.
And making it very expensive with those 4 players going down. That's 3 players that have to rebuy that were on like 250, 150 credits. So not the prettiest of buys here for the guard moving forward. You can see Net's not going to be able to get a Vandal up. And they've had to make some light purchases here with just light armor. Thankfully, the util, actually VALORANT won't have his paranoia, surprisingly. So M80 doing a lot of damage in that round, and they're going to head towards the B site. We're seeing set pieces early in these A execs. Expect something big here on the B site, where they've actually switched and moved the KJ here, the guard.
Dude, what is this lineup?
A cross-map lineup over towards the A side.
Nothing spotted whatsoever, but that is at the same time as a rush. That's a great setup from the guard, but M80, they collect a free B site and almost 2 free kills. Nismo through the smoke collects Trent, but Net is down all the way to 45 HP. Here's the rotation. The guard, 2 coming in towards spawn.
Jonah P does have an ultimate here. I want to see if maybe Xander wants to back away with his from the shadows, but he's not going to be able to now.
Big from EU as he picks up the first, and there's another man actually potentially looking out for a wall.
He's got to be aware of a second.
EU's going to go down to the second man. There goes the flash, and there goes the pick coming out from Tex. This just gives guard a chance, though. Man advantage still in the hands of M80 at the moment. 3 players shifting around in sight, 1 sitting in the back.
They will save.
And for good reason.
Just too much util to go up against M80 when they've got none of their own to get back into it. We'll try and get these exits here. You can see they're trapping players in, holding the exits. And this is going to hurt M80 in every single capacity. Xander being the only one that looks like will get away. And this is a costly round for M80 despite picking it up. That's 4 reinvestments back in.
As if M80 wasn't picking away at the economy of the guard a little bit earlier on, and now it's the guard's opportunity to do so. Everyone's sticking around the site to do so.
And some early set pieces called out from both of these teams. A cross-map recon bolt. We've seen 2 looks of an A hit from M80. Fault line in the back sight, just in their pistol, and that aftershock seize combo that we're seeing guard kind of pivot around. They don't want to get caught in these like triple initiator dumps. That's the power of this composition. Is you have so much util to set up and isolate fights. And so no one's playing around that switch anymore for the guard.
Oh. It's a very simple setup, I was about to say, for Jonah P. There's no way he just sends it at the wall. But he actually has found information, Nismo.
Selected, he actually switched it up. He was thinking about throwing it at the wall to catch players there, but
exactly.
He knew that his teammate had control regardless with Tech's operator.
Look at the positioning here for the guard, though. This is such a big stack over towards Cat.
And nobody playing in that C's aftershock combo anymore.
Tex
there it is again.
Tex has everything over in A, has the first pick, and now can back up with the knives. But that is Xander through the smoke, taking down Tex, eliminating the ulti. What?
He TP's a cloud. Are you kidding me? There's no way.
Valen coming up from behind. Almost giving M80 the flip. Trent and Net, now the last two remaining. Surely they're done for. The work from the guard in the last few rounds to chip away at the economy of M80 may all be for naught.
I thought Trent is like chewing his gum, just spamming his LMG.
Need to replace the music somehow.
Yeah, he looks so calm, just like, oh, yeah, I'll just let go of my 100 bullet Odin. But M80, this Egg-Tech looked a little bit disconnected for a second, right? Like there was a push towards Cat, and Tex, who was actually the A main player, isn't occupied with holding A main. He spins back towards Cat to find the first pick, which was surprising because it felt like M80 were trying to, you know, squash that player, isolate fights as well, have the 2v1s and 3v2s over towards Catwalk. The Tex, even despite getting that kill, was not enough to hold the site down as Valen was kind of isolated with a smoke in front of him that he dropped, which kind of kept him from the fight by TPing across as well. So M80 finding success here in the second round. And it will be a tactical timeout called by the guard to sort out their economy, it looks like. They don't have a lot to buy here, and will definitely have to find a way to deal with these multiple A splits that we've seen from M80. That's the third time they've done that.
Way that they've set up has pretty much been the exact same, whether they have a 1-man or 2-man hold over towards Cat, and they're still working around the KJ
Hold on. I speak sign language. I'll tell you what Josh RT is saying.
What is he saying?
He's saying we gotta push.
Yeah?
And trying to get Tex kills with the, I don't know, man. I don't know, Josh. It's not
no,
actually,
I think you're
for anyone at
though.
home, it's not actually sign language. He's just animated with his hands, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, but they do need to make potentially some ballsy calls. The guard.
Yeah. Huge props to Josh RT, who is mainly the orchestrator from what we know of kind of these compositions. Like, I remember Valen was in an interview talking about their comps, their setups, they take inspiration, and then Valen kind of just goes over it with Josh, and they figure out what works and what doesn't. And he's been a very key role or key player in the success of the guard, kind of refining this machine that is the guard and instilling reps into them so that they are coordinated. And you know, he's been as well has been a phenomenal IGL in the North American scene. And has definitely passed wisdom on to Valen with that mid-rounding style. This is a lighter buy here for the guard though. Odin and a Vandal. And they will put the singular rifle on this A site. This isn't the round where they're going to do, I think, that A setup, preparing for an A split. So I think we'll see M80 switch it up in the next round, actually. Get John QT onto the ult, seems to be the goal, and get Nismo his as well. A lot of ultimates from M80, actually.
It's really a waiting game to see if M80 are going to use any of them. Again, Net. Things a bit interesting, actually. Breaking down the gate. Down the switch over on A, and he's given himself an opportunity to spray through it. Actually takes down John QT.
And he calls out the null command of all things. They actually use it in this round.
This is very interesting. Here comes Noob, who could shut it all the way down.
What a flash.
Oh, Nismo, he's the one to actually get the kill anyways. There goes Net. Man advantage, no longer in the hands of the guard as Xander picks up a kill onto Net. You still have Valen trying to come out of the Cat side, but there's still pretty much two players looking at that. Nismo taking down Valen, but oh my goodness, it's only Nismo with a dash! And Trent jumps right into the mosh pit and takes down Nismo immediately. And the guard out of nowhere pick up the round.
You'll see some issues with its M80 composition. And one of them is the fact that there's no flank watch. And in this round, EU is forced to fight, or at least, apologies, check the flank, and keeping him out of the fight entirely. A smoke gets dropped in his face, and he swings having no idea what's happening. You can see here in the replay, because you're down a player in a lot of these retake situations, you're forced to make these kinds of swings. And that's why the fight happened from Xander. That's why Nismo was forced to swing towards door, because they didn't have EU's backing, because he was smoked off. He's always going to be forced to check those flanks, and that will kind of inhibit M80 in these post plants a lot of times because they'll be playing a man down.
Mega disconnected was EU at the very end there, but you still, again, going back into the next round.
3 ultimates here for M80 to work off of.
big chance here. Tex around the corner, looking for potentially a lineup. Everyone from M80 coming out of either their B main or the mid side. There's a big split, but the guard have pretty much everyone here too. Net around the corner, same thing with Trent. There goes the shock dart, pressuring out Nismo. Nismo is gone. And now there's only 2 remaining for M80. They do have decent positioning, to say the least. They have full B pressure.
And I think Xander's thinking about going for the plant and hoping that EU, who's been
EU too?
very Mr. Reliable, to try and catch something, but they all go the other way.
Everyone, all 4 from the guard, heading over towards B main. You said it, Mr. Consistency, EU, waiting for his opportunity.
And they know.
They know he's here.
How
Isolated.
methodical is this from the guard?
But he's gonna have a line of sight. There is no smoke for him at the moment.
Oh, he's just TP'd onto the site, Val, and yeah, this is a free round. Just TP's onto it.
Wait
Can
a
they
minute.
punish?
Wait a minute, Xander's still alive, and Xander can still fight. What a TP from Xander. He can delay more time. Xander spraying away, picks up 1. Can he pick up the second? That headshot was insane.
And he wins it! Are you kidding me?
How did M80 win that round?
The haunt from EU giving info and Xander TPing across back into sight to get that kill. And this looked like, you know, this was a brilliant round from the guard if you think about it, and the util that they had and the way they played it, flushed out EU, knew where he was, or at least revealed where his positioning was.
Even the TP?
But Xander taking that fight, yeah, Valen as well, committing to that TP. This was a crazy round from the guard, but that haunt and getting Xander back into this fight and just buying time, he knew what his goal was. And M80 calling a tactical pause.
They called it?
I'm not surprised, because despite that round going their way, they didn't win it because of their tactical prowess. They didn't win because they had a good core, had a good read on the game.
No. Guard waltzing up into that site, but goodness gracious, man.
There were some mistakes from M80 leading up to that put them in those clutch situations.
Right.
M80, for a time, are getting bailed out by these individual plays. Like, you think back to the mid play they had in that round. There's an aftershock pizza to clear out Tex, but Koala threw a smoke to cover his cross. An offensive smoke to cover an offensive cross. So there are some slight mistakes that M80 are making that are giving these opportunities to this guard team to capitalize on, and they very nearly did in that round. Thankfully, somehow, some way, in a 2 versus 4, they get it out.
Well, now M80, they pretty much find themselves out of nowhere in a possible situation. Of course, their economy is very weird. They had to think about it for a quick second. Now the guard. We haven't seen a lot of A main pressure, but we may just see it now. Jonah P on that front side. Doesn't
An early shark play out towards mid here, and Tex is looking to punish with his Hunter's Fury.
It's so much aggression coming out. Hunter's Fury coming out at the same time, like you mentioned, but it's 2 kills coming out from M80.
No flash from Jonah P to set up is surprising.
Net has positioned himself in a pretty good spot over in mid. The guard now, with their extra few flashes, hopefully they can use it now to hold things down, because now the double shock and the double flash are here on A.
But they will know this is an A hit because of Net's positioning. So they're just playing the retake. The shocks to deny. Spike plant. Oh, even hold the cross.
Nice shot from Trent. Getting out of there cleanly.
And Nismo on low HP, he could be punished here by a shock. And thankfully he does suppress at least the Sova.
Oh, wait a second.
Did he just creep in the smoke? You gotta be kidding me.
No. Trent.
Swing.
Trent.
Oh.
Swing.
That's Jonah P.
Yeah, thanks for that. There's Jonah P taking up the 1. There goes Trent. As I said before, still coming in. Mr. Consistency EU now in a 1v2. Has Net over towards Cat. Again, Trent is the one distracting. Trent is the one stomping away at Heaven and hopefully taking away the contact from EU. Now EU knows where both of them are. There goes the defuse. Trent just holding down the corner. Thanks. And the guard do take it away. Said Trent's name for good reason, though. He picks up 4 in the round.
Yeah, Jonah P just slipping through the door was crazy, by the way.
Wild.
Getting timing as well. No one checking the smoke. That smoke jutting out just a little bit too much. A misplaced smoke from M80 is what cost him that round. Not entirely misplaced, but normally you want that smoke to be flush with the door so that those kind of plays don't happen. So the guard will find their 5th round, recovering from a 4 versus, technically a 3 versus 5 actually. It was Trent's ult that did get 1 trade back, but it was 2 kills right off the rip for M80. And so the guard are very, this is what's been their strength, is recovering from these man disadvantage situations. They won 3 of 8 4v5s in the last map.
Unreal.
Because of how good they are in, you know, these mid-round calls.
Oh, Tex! Almost an unbelievable call out of Koala Noob makes it into sight and still ends up getting taken out. Tex's tracking is unbelievable right now, and M80, they can't do anything against the aerial ace.
They will get the ult orb at least for now, but the guard putting on a steadfast defense at this point in time. It was a lighter buy here for M80, so we'll see if they can get a kill, maybe pull a gun away, but you look at the setup that the guard have at the moment, and it just feels unbreakable on this A site. It's just net maintaining this tree control, and so that they have a retake point. And that has been the key thing here in this guard defense, is how good that and how quick they are to these retake fights, right? Every single time the spike goes down, there's already a player in heaven, 2-3 players in heaven, or they've been very good at isolating fights in these retakes. And it does bode, or at least show, how and why their retake percentage is so high. They're very well drilled and know exactly the weaknesses of this M80 comp.
30 seconds left.
See at the moment, readjusting with an advantage, everyone backing up into safety, either playing in a pack, playing with a buddy system,
Spike down mid.
overall playing in a safe position where their team needs them. Just like that, the guard start off the round in a flawless fashion, finish it off in as any flawless.
3 ultimates for M80. And some coming online here as well for the guard. A little bit far off, Trent's ultimate. Tech's pretty close to his Blade Storm. That could be pretty big on a retake to get him into the fight very quickly. But M80, they need an answer here soon. They've had 3 successful post plants. The guard have been very, very good in their retakes. 38% on that first map of Haven. And that's a hard map to make retakes happen. Here they've been very successful, by the way. And even denying the spike as well. Here will be M80 with a faster set piece. That's a really good knife though to slow this push down.
Oh yeah, exactly. Koala Noob can't dash in. Jonah P, even though he goes down, his job was done for the round.
Here's what we'll see, the guard kind of reset in these 4v5s.
Oh, Koala Noob getting in, but Net's unstunned! Ends up only getting 2, but hold on now, he still had Valen in the back, not able to do much. But Tex, we're gonna bring back the round. M80 takes him away immediately, but that Rolling Thunder was the catalyst for M80.
That's still a scary round though, to let Net swing through and find a double is ridiculous. Jonah P going down very early to a spam Koala. I think expecting that there was gonna be a KO grenade coming out, he just spams in the general direction of where it was probably gonna come. And the guard, unfortunately this time around, not able to get the round on. That's a successful plant and post plant for M80 here. But it took a Rolling Thunder to re-exec into the site after getting stopped by Jonah P and his knife.
Valen getting pressured out already.
That will slow down the push.
Staying safe.
Getting caught by the fault line. So that's time for guard to set up here. But it's all a fake here. They did this play just the last round. And the guard have felt for it, hook, line, and sinker. But there's timing here, which is surprising.
There is util here too. Yeah, that's, like you said, surprising that there's even timing here for the guard to be able to come back into B. But M80 not committing to this whatsoever. Nismo spots the turret very late, taking it away. But now M80 cutting noise everywhere, forcing essentially some peaks. And Net almost gets punished for it. He goes all the way down to 22 HP.
If Net goes down, not only will they lose the player, but they will lose mid control. So it's crucial that he stays alive. So he's backed up all the way and will instead let Jonah P take first contact.
So much pivotal utility. That one piece of utility is allowing 3 to cover B at the moment.
That knife caught Koala Noob, so they should know where the hit's coming, and all that time bought, all the time wasted, Tex got aggressive.
That's Xander alone picking up Tex though. He could get into a 1v1 right now.
That paranoia is so well timed to slow the push down, but it's only just Xander.
But he knows that Valen is here. Valen down to 22 HP. Still going down to Xander. Good stuff from Xander. But now it's all Trent. Trent picks up one, and he backs up immediately. Good disciplined play from the young man. And he's still spraying away through the floor.
No way!
And the shock dart is there. Hook, line, and sinker. Trent picks out Koala Noob. Now 2 more to go.
He's got a Hunter Sphere, and he's actually gonna use it. Back towards main, back towards Switch.
It was almost incredible. And he does pick up EU still, but it's not the kill. Trent now left, seeing his comrades go down, but now it's Trent again with it all to do. EU backing away, knows what he needs to do to win this round. Delay, delay, delay. The young man, he has no patience for this. Pulls out the classic, needing to run, need to push the situation, but it is not going to happen. EU has it all under control.
And in a crucial 1 versus 1. EU picking
Last
up a
round before the
huge
switch.
round for M80. That would have reset them here and put them on such a weird position for this last round. And M80 just barely staying alive. Despite how close this score has been, you do have to feel this has been guard dominating. That round played again very well, pushing, recognizing the play in towards B main with that knife. Tex gets aggressive towards Cat, finding a kill. But I think just a poorly timed paranoia from Valen gives an opportunity for M80 to slip through.
Jonah P gonna shut down some of this potential over towards B. 2 players getting suppressed. M80 playing a lot more spread in this round. Coverage over towards mid and coverage in A main at the same time.
Kwanu is buying a Bulldog despite having plenty to buy a Vandal here. And they're expecting aggression from the guard here.
Oh, and they don't call it out though. Koala Noob doesn't get the kill. That's a big trade from Jonah P. Everyone else from M80 is backing up over towards that position too. They're looking potentially for Jonah P.
A swing from net maybe. And they're wanting to see if Jonah P had stuck around to maintain this control. See if they can clear him out. In the meantime, Nano will try and have to sell a fake.
Again! Calls out both of them.
There's just no way. They know this is a B hit as well. The alarm bot towards mid, the control that net currently has.
Oh! It's so wonderful here for Jonah P. He has it all. All of this under his control just with the one suppression. He's able to let his teammates rotate in. But again, these 2 players here for M80, they have a lot of space to work with. Still a smoke in their face, but it's 3 players here, but now make it 2. 1 goes down. Jonah P looking for a whole lot more. But he finally gets taken away. Net, however, from behind takes down Xander. EU trying to make the job a little easier by pushing early. But the guard finished the half off in spectacular fashion. Good stuff from Jonah.
Just breaking that defense, or apologies, that default from M80 by getting aggressive in the last round. We didn't see a lot of set pieces like that towards B main and A main. We saw it once towards mid, but here it catches. I mean, M80 are kind of prepared for it, but Kwanu was taking a very wide angle and not working with his teammate Nismo. Or apologies, not Nismo, Xander in this position, who is quite the ways away. And no trades happen either. Guard having a phenomenal read so far in this series. And it will be up to M80 on this defense with a triple initiator. This is where we'll see those set pieces, that aggressive play style. When Kwanu gets the up, and hopefully he does, because he's currently 3-12 of all things. He was 2017 in the first half. We'll need a massive effort from M80 in this second half.
And scoreboard, it's still 5-7. Good stuff from Xander with 18 kills in the first half, but he's already looking for more. It's going to be the 1v1 for him potentially over in mid. Valen trying to come out, but it's actually 2 players. Net alongside Valen here, looking to take up this position, and Koala Noob has it. The 2 players on A, they're playing very disconnected at the moment. They may need to start to worry a little too much about these players over towards the mid side. That's a huge kill to get with no information being picked up back by M80. Everyone from the guard currently cutting noise.
Here's this extremely annoying mid-round from the guard once more. They find a pick, but they don't do anything. They instantly shift their attention elsewhere. Jonah P will charge up his knife, get his flashes in, and sell a fake towards his A side. He did get tagged by the knife, though, so this exit will take, I think, a fraction of a second longer here for the guard.
Yeah, but nobody from M80 is committing.
There's that knife, and there's that flash he's just sent out.
That's a perfect smoke, too, to fake the crossover on A. B
30 seconds
completely
left.
wide open. The player over there, Jonah P, he didn't even commit to the peak. He's just going all the way back to B, try to play with his team. Oh, the turret getting covered. Actually, at the moment, Jonah P is going to have to man watch all the way back over towards B main. 4 players from M80 trying to recollect themselves back over towards mid and spawn.
Double flash here on a fault line for John QT. It'll have to get them back in now.
These positions are beautiful, 2 over towards short. 1 person in main. Net not able to do his job, though. Trent needing to back on out. And a reminder that there's still a flanker going down at the moment. Jonah P is coming in real late from main, and he's still helping out. The knife even catching Nismo. Nismo goes down at the end to Trent. Trent with the triple. Jonah P had an eye on this situation the entire round.
Guard. This is their favorite map, the map that M80 have never beaten them on. It was 13-8 the last time they played it. And the guard showing their prowess. That mid-rounding, again, will be something to watch out for. This should be where, again, we will see some more set pieces from both of these teams. We saw a little bit from the guard on their defense, maybe some more on the offense, but definitely M80 with theirs. They won't have the opportunity in this next round. They're going to be on an eco. The guard in pretty dominant control. This will be an M80 defense that needs players like Nismo and Koalanoob to certainly step up, especially someone like Koalanoob, who isn't necessarily like the only star on the team, but is definitely the focal point in a lot of rounds that we talk about. It's always Koalanoob somehow pulling his team out.
I mean, Koalanoob called himself the best duelist in this tournament.
And then he got trashed on by Oscar against the Union, right? And then he bounced back, so maybe he is.
Maybe. Again, he drops 3 in the first half. God knows what he's going to do in the second half. But I don't know if we should rely on trends like that.
Yeah, exactly, right? Koalanoob. He is, at times, when you can definitely tell that a game isn't going the way of M80, when they're not in control like they should be. Koalanoob definitely, his performance is not taking a toll, but a lot of it is because the util isn't perfect to set him up. He thrives off of his team and their insane util, and the reason why he's so good is because, of course, that util, but also because he knows the exact routing he has. When it feels like the team isn't clicking and they're trying to improv things, that's maybe where M80 fall behind, because Koalanoob isn't used to those kinds of entry plays.
M80, pretty systematic player if he has his system in place. But the round is finally coming to a bit of a climax. Nismo, okay, good spray from Trent. A couple of players from M80 actually able to get some kills back. That's Koalanoob picking up the right click at the very end. You still have Jonah P and Valen incredibly low. I don't like the sound of that. Here comes Koalanoob. Stepping up into a weird situation now. Again, that Sheriff could do a whole lot of damage.
And if there was ever a round to do anything, it's this one.
Stepping up, 2 players incredibly low, but they could be looking for the 3-2-1 swing. Out of Jenny, Koalanoob.
Oh.
Was looking for a body shot. It doesn't happen.
He tried to time his drop with the Guardian spam, but he was unfortunately not able to time it there. And that will be 9-5, the guard. This next round is the round to watch. M80. They lose this round, not a lot of cash left over. It'll be like a light armor, half scrappy buy, maybe not even a full buy. It would be the guard finding 11 in that instance. And that's a number that if you're not even on double digits, it's kind of a death sentence in a lot of instances. Trent won off his Hunter series. See if maybe they're going to establish some orb control here. And it looks like M80 have elected to fight pretty heavily for both of these orbs to deny that opportunity.
Oh, the knife, though. It only caught Xander. Nismo can respond with flashes alongside his own knife.
They need to be prepared here. John QT's got to quickly spin pivot with his fault line.
What's the movement here from Nismo? There goes the nade. Okay, that does actually stop things over towards Cap, but this is at the same time Tex. Tex is coming. Tex is here. Over in heaven. Tex takes over. Trent takes down Nismo, and now the site is theirs. 2 players from M80. They rotated relatively quickly, but they're just not in on time.
Aftershock not in a position where it can deny. Just too many walls to go through. And Trent will back away. He got the spike plant, so he'll have the Hunter series to work with here. And EU's looking to punish that play, expecting it.
This is going to take forever. This player over towards A main. 2 players, actually, they're actually committing to this.
They need to get in now. They can't just wait for EU to do everything.
Exactly. EU's going to take forever getting through this. Valen! He holds it all down in the back, and EU's job is impossible. Double digits confirmed for the guard, and potentially a whole lot more.
And just not enough cash for M80 to muster a full buy here. 2 players are going to be working with light guns. No, not full rifles here. EU as well. Valen, this play was everything, because they were trying to isolate him, and look at the smoke that he dropped. So well played from Valen, forcing these players to swing in, and the flash is 50-50 wherever you drop it.
He likes that. He
likes
that.
Whoa! I don't know if you saw the net tweet, but he's like, it's all love at the end of the day. This does not feel like love, I'm not gonna lie. He's talking a lot, and I respect it.
The seeds of rivalry being planted, I love it.
I mean, these are 2 teams that have matched up 3 times domestically, and this is the biggest stage internationally. Here they are, face to face. And so here's the perfect moment to talk some trash after, losing 2 times to this team.
Now get it out now while you can. Here we go, M80. Again, down to the pistols. We aren't expecting too much out of this round. Koalanoob does try to make things at least a little bit entertaining. Dashing out in the middle of the mosh pit. Everyone is here for M80 though, and look at this repositioning. Oh my goodness, they're actually trapping 2 players on site. Xander has a Vandal, but he is gonna go down in an instant. And Nismo doing the same, John QT doing the same. EU is gone too. The guard, now 2 away.
Not ready yet.
M80 having no answers whatsoever. This must be a frustrating map to play. 4 rounds in a row, and M80, a much-needed tactical timeout. What's the play? Qualinoob has got the operator. Where are those set pieces that we see from many? Where is that confident, refined, drilled M80 lineup? Because the guard have got answers to a lot of these plays. At times, they're playing back and passive when they are expecting these kinds of pushes, being extremely proactive as well in their post plants. I think if you're happy, you just, I don't know what words you give here. There's not a lot. It's this guard mid-rounding that is so difficult for M80 to play against. And you can't just tell your team to get aggressive because it's not a style that M80 are entirely used to on the defense. So you're playing to your comforts here right now, M80. And unfortunately, I just don't think there's an answer you can make at this point in time.
This attack being perfect, especially after such a tight half, man. You gotta be kicking yourself. So many situations where Qualinoob has been placed to kind of succeed in the early round, getting shut down by KO utility. A lot of the off-the-gun play scenarios for the guard have been very, very good so far in this half. And again, it just shows in the score line, and now it might potentially show in this next round. The guard, they're not going for anything.
Passing, or at least a glance towards this ace orb, seeing if they can maybe deny the lockdown play. You can see a ping here as well from the guard, kind of recognizing that might be the play here. As M80 do get aggressive, they won't make that. They typically will do a TP with Xander, fault line, and a Qualinoob jet dash, but they don't do that here.
They're waiting for the util now. John QT still has his stun and still has flashes. You still have the paranoia from Xander.
Risky.
Paranoia comes out, but no, they didn't stun one of the players. Qualinoob waiting for the swing. That's
the spike. He swung with the spike.
Why is that the spike? Okay, that's all the way out in the open though. They could just pick it up from under a smoke. M80, we could have seen maybe a harder battle there for the spike, but now the guard, they backed up all the way over towards B.
It's also, the smokes play are gone, and they don't have much to work with. This net trying to dry swing. VALORANT giving up his life has made this entire round fall apart because smokes go away. You've got nothing else.
But now A site is completely free. It doesn't even matter if they don't have a smokes player or not.
But look at the way that M80 are playing. They've gone all the way back towards A main, knowing Trent has a Hunter's Fury. And that's more than likely where he's going to play.
To reposition back over in Cat.
Would they expect this? I don't know. I don't think Trent would. He's not. He's reloading.
Absolutely not. They don't. There goes Qualinoob. But it's John QT instead that gets the kill.
I got the spike.
Zax now, a 1v3, still has the spike to play and 20 seconds left. He doesn't know at all about the player above him. And it's EU that puts a bullet in the back of his head. 6 back for M80, but more importantly, M80 is still in this game.
VALORANT giving his life up was probably the biggest hurt in this round for the guard. Losing that smokes player, forcing Net's hand to try and get aggressive on the B side and take space elsewhere. And M80's awareness that Trent will always play this A main area for his post plant. And he gets caught off guard mid-reload, not allowed to get the spike down and play the post plant for Tex. And a huge, huge round for M80 to stay afloat in this series. We'll see if the call is to, again, get more aggressive. They will get more aggressive. A shark play it looks like, but not with a jet. They're sending a flash over, and I think a smoke to get the... I'm curious what this play will be, because it doesn't look like you can make that fast play unless you want to TP for Xander, and that will be the play, surprisingly.
Exactly that. So there goes the TP from Xander. Xander now has full control of that mid side. The guard not making too many moves elsewhere, but look at this positioning. This positioning for Qualinoob is everything. He's looking for 1, maybe 2 out of this.
Xander.
And to dash away. This is unbelievable. There goes the Nightfall, and there goes 2 from Qualinoob. He could have gotten a 3rd, but VALORANT shuts him down. But this is a huge advantage for M80. Finally, 2-man advantage for M80. VALORANT and Net looking for so much more to do. But hold on now. Hold on now. Net coming up from behind. VALORANT has made it possible. Do they know about Net? Net. No!
He shoots!
Why did he shoot? Net throws it all with 1 click of a mouse.
And he was hoping to punish Xander on that jump. And M80 with a set piece, get mid-aggression to play retake on both B and A. And he wasn't waiting for a flash. Kwanu was waiting for the Q. Double ultimate into this round. And VALORANT did everything he could. He actually took fights instead of dropping his smoke.
Oh.
And Net just nearly catching his head, but that double face is just way too much to deal with. What a round from M80. And a crucial one at that. This next one is a huge momentum swinger. No ults left for M80, and some building for the guard. So this round could be decisive with their ultimates.
Real quiet now as Qualanoob is waiting. First contact, the hum of the owl drone making its way towards him. Spraying away at the middle of the B main area, but again, the guard, they're still thinking about repositions. There's still a player over towards top mid, waiting for the flank, and he may be rewarded.
No, he's not going to be, because the alarm bot's going to stop him first, so.
Here.
And they've pinged it out as well. Xander, Nismo, tucking in A main to try and win this round out, because these three players are so far away, and the guard are not feigning, it looks like. Fake TP, actually, they are gonna fake it. This is, again, a weakness of this comp is not the mid control. So guard will rework back up mid.
Yeah, the guard have pretty much, actually, they found a red carpet here. It's only one person in the middle of B. It could be helped out here by EU, but it's only through the smoke. It's all on Qualanoob. What can Qualanoob do here? Hunter's Fury trying to sweep him away, but it doesn't happen. But he's finally gone. Jonah P bursting in, taking in one. EU does get the trade back. This lockdown is going to crunch away some time on the clock, but M80, they're able to reposition themselves now. One over towards B main and both in spawn. Two more in spawn.
Just enough time as well to get the spike down. Xander needs this fight, and he needs to win it.
What an angle. That is so close for Xander. Xander with a point-blank paranoia. Trent still looking for the battle, but he's gone. There goes the knife.
Still waiting.
Man advantage for M80, but they don't know about these positions. And Tex is able to take down the first. Same thing with Net. One more to go. But hold on. Tex needs one bullet to actually hit. Xander making his way through. He's making this possible. Still, Tex, he picks up a rifle, and this actually gives him a much better chance. 43 HP remaining. Xander finally gets the right click in, but Net!
He gets it!
No!
There's no time!
Net out in the open, chunks away the final few seconds that the guard needed to close out the round.
And Xander's actually able to get away just barely with an Odin. So they have another buy in their back pockets.
It's actually very important. Look at their cash.
And there's so much on the line in this next round. And that lockdown actually won them this round. Those 4 seconds after they got the plant left on that lockdown, keeping the retake from happening, wins the guard a massive round. Match, series, an upper final advancement point here. And M80, it's just enough to get a buy on. It's not a strong one, but it is a buy.
Paranoia in, here comes Tex, trying to blow it all away. The first dash into sight, but look at this hold from M80. It is non-existent. A is gone. 5v5 retake.
His double shock lineup found one, or single shock.
4v5 instead. M80, they still have a Marshall to work with.
And the guard are reflanking back towards Catwalk, and no one in M80 is looking. This is not a play guard have done ever in this map.
This might just shock M80. This might be the frosting on top, the fireworks that we were expecting here on the 4th of July. Here we go over towards Cat. The flank coming in. The retake from M80. Net bouncing in the bullets. John QT goes down. And the bragging rights go to the guard as they move on to winners finals.
And in 2-0 fashion, guard maintaining their dominance from group stage to playoffs. They have the #1 seed, but they are the #2 from NA, and they have a date with Brazil's best. Would you believe it? The guard dominating the first map and dominating this map of Ascent. We are seeing a team that is in tip-top form. A team that understands what they need to do, how to play the map, and that mid-rounding, I think, throughout the entire series was perfect from VALORANT.
That felt like a masterclass against a team. Also showed the same exact levels in a lot of the same categories that you just mentioned. The adaptation, the mentality of M80 coming into this game were pretty top tier, to say the very least. This is a massive win for the Guard. And like you said, again, it is North America against Brazil in the winners finals, and that's already tomorrow.
And it's surprising because we expected M80 to be the ones to take them on. That was their mentality, is that we just want the rematch against the Union. And EU said in his interview that if they lost here today, they were expecting, or they were like, oh, we're down to basically beat the Union at a later point in time. So for now, the Guard advance with an upper bracket final matchup against the Union. That will be an extremely exciting one, as now NA's best up against Brazil's best. We're going to things to our analyst desk, as they've got probably a lot to say about this sweeping from the Guard.
It sounds like M80, they're so ready to face off against the Union that they forgot that they had to go up against the Guard first and to best their NA counterparts to be moving on. And the Guard, I mean, this was just such a great day for them, Dan. Truly America's Day for the squad, but wow, they came ready to play and they've just looked so clean.
Celebrating the 4th of July all the way from Brazil is the Guard with a 2-0 as well. The one match that we thought, hey, this one is the most likely to go the distance because of the history between the two. But no, the Guard had a different story to tell, and I think it was a beautiful story. The way that the mid-round was looking every single time for VALORANT, the plays as well individually from Trend, from Net, it was all on point. And it goes back to the narrative that we talked about. Is this kind of the LAN buff that the Guard has, the LAN experience that they had last year all the way back in Masters, that is helping them out in a situation like this one?
I'd 100% believe it here, Shift, because honestly, they did not need any time to be warming up when we're looking at Ascension. They did not need time to adjust to their environment, being in this live setting. They just look so comfortable in this situation.
I think the bigger statement is they didn't make many mistakes. There were a couple of rounds here or there where, yeah, sure, you let M80 get away with more than you would have liked to, but in the macro sense of how M80 were trying to play this game, the Guard were beating them at their own game, essentially. Perfect reads, great adjustments. I think especially on Haven, I could not say enough about how offensively the Guard looked. Super, super strong. And then even here with the a map that we said the Guard defensively super, super good. One of the best retake teams in Challengers, maybe even in VALORANT when it comes to retaking on this map. But M80 came out and actually did what I asked them to do. Take 5 rounds on the offense. Thing about it was the Guard never fully allowed M80 to get involved economically when they were on defense. You know they want QualiNoob to have a scope. He wasn't really able to get it out all that often, not only just on the defensive side, but really ever. And that's super, super key, I think, to shutting down a huge X factor for this M80 squad. So the Guard came out firing on all cylinders. They had M80 held off from full buys. They only got to purchase full 6 times that map. So that's extreme when you talk about how the Guard was able to manipulate economy throughout the entirety of that second map.
And you mentioned Shift as well, the retakes that we get to see, but also something that caught my attention quite a lot was how the retakes were playing out for the Guard, because we know how good they are, but they went one extra step to make sure that they were going to work out for M80. A lot of lurks, a lot of flanks happening, and playing into kind of the first, second, and third time after the spike gets planted. That's when Net and a lot of rounds was getting activated to go all the way across the map, getting some good timings towards Heaven. I mean, even the duelists, even that Jet was doing the same, and they were completely surrounding M80 into a position that they thought they were comfortable with.
Well, we've definitely had a lot of praise for the Guard and, of course, the IGL in it. So we're going to go ahead and toss to an interview with VALORANT, get a little bit of thoughts about the matchup after that 2-0 over M80. It honestly was such a great match to be watching out coming from y'all. And there was a couple of words exchanged near the end of that second map. Just having fun, or is things getting a little heated with M80?
No, it's all fun. We love M80. I mean, we've been hanging out with them like almost every day, fellow NA members. So it was all in just the heat of the moment, having fun. Nothing was bad said. It was just friendly banter. You know, let's go. Just kind of hyped up. But yeah, no bad blood between us.
And then, of course, you've gone up against M80 so many times at this point throughout Challengers. In the last couple of times, they have bested you. So what was different about today and this performance? Because this was a clean 2-0 coming out from the Guard.
I mean, we're on LAN, right? The other matches were all online. I think that definitely favors them a little bit. We have the experience on LAN, and I think they've been performing great. Not to, you know, some people like to say onliners. We had the same narrative last year. I'm not trying to say that, but experience definitely matters a lot. And I think, you know, with us having prior experience at Masters Reykjavik last year, playing the Ludwig LAN this year, and now this, I think we just had the edge going into it. And I think our game plan has been solid. Yeah, those three things, you got to win.
As well, your calling for today was just absolutely phenomenal. So
Thank you.
without any spoilers of things, you just feel like for yourself in this environment, like you're ready to take that next step. You're ready for that next level.
Oh, 100%. I think calling wise, I've been hitting my top form right now. Not to say that I'm not trying to cap myself, but I think as much as I know at the moment, I think I'm hitting my top form. I think I've been putting more kind of mental energy into the calling as well, which kind of makes me like play worse individually. But when I look at all the top IGLs in Valorant, they're not known as like crazy good players, right? So I just been like hard focusing on just making sure my team has the best round possible, and they're all closers. You know, I don't have to get kills for us to get wins, right? So I just been kind of on the back foot on that and just hard calling, like staring at my mini map, making sure all the pivots are correct. That's why you see a lot of the time we're kind of baking one side, doing the extra pivot, the 1-2-3 step, as I like to call it. And I think it's just because my mental energy, like I said, has been in the calling, and I'm hitting the flow state in the match. Pretty ecstatic with the result.
It's definitely exciting to see for us and everyone viewing at home. And you have a big match coming up next too, because when there's been two teams that we've talked about taking that spot, it has been the Guard and it's been the Union. How are you feeling ahead of this matchup?
I'm super excited. I would say I'm even more excited for the Union than M80, just because they're kind of Brazil rivals. Everyone thinks they're going to take this thing home, and I want to show them that it's not going to be that easy. There's a lot of smack talk to my fellow NA members after they won literally the first match. So let's see if they keep the same energy when they play us.
We'll have to see. Congratulations again on this 2-0.
We'll have to see.
Best of luck and have a good night. Okay, Valen?
Thank you. You too. Thank you to all the fans. Much love. See you guys tomorrow.
We will see you tomorrow. Ooh, some strong words. I was already excited for this matchup, Dan, but it's going to be a long night waiting for tomorrow's match.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I feel like when everybody was talking about Ascension, because we've been talking about Ascension since the beginning of the year. We were talking about the Guard, the Brazilians, we were talking about the Union, because they knew this team a lot and what they were capable of. And now we're finally living it, right? It's finally happening, and this is a matchup that you don't really know what's going to happen, right? Because M80, they lost 0-2 against the Union, and now the Guard won against them. So I know Valen in an interview back then was saying kind of how the math works for those kind of scenarios isn't going to favor them. We don't really know, but it does get closer to what we've been waiting for, right? When are we going to be seeing those 3 maps?
Hey, even after talking to Valen and him talking about, hey, at this point with his IGLing, he feels like he's hit like a really strong point, which is the perfect timing considering the tournament we have on. Yeah. So Shift, if that is the case too, going up against the Union, this should be really exciting, because looking at our bracket, this is our top bracket final that we're about to witness.
Yeah, look, here's the thing is the Union's going to get tested in map fluency. I think that's the first and foremost part. I think both teams are very, very evenly matched when it comes down to how they approach the game. It just comes down to, will there be enough of a playbook there for the Union to be able to diversify their map pool and take on a very strong Guard squad? I'm not putting it past them. I know it sounds like I'm coming across as like super NA bias, but I'm really curious, I think, to see what the Union's going to be able to cook up for the Guard going into tomorrow. Whereas, don't sleep on these lower bracket matchups, by the way. I think 0 Nation had a very sloppy game yesterday. I think they play a lot cleaner, shoot a little bit straighter coming into tomorrow, so I wouldn't sleep on them if you're M80. And then that bottom side bracket, I still feel really strongly about Fusion, so that matchup with 9Z I think is going to be a really tight one as well.
Especially tomorrow, Dan. We're going to be having our first elimination matches here.
I don't want to talk about it.
We have to talk about it. We're ready for some heartbreak over here.
it's elimination and the two, or I guess the region, right, that is in that lower bracket already, it is Latin America, and there's no easy way to saying it, right? Now NZ and Fusion, both of the teams that lost in different parts of the tournament, but it's still a region that has given us a lot of greatness, a lot of cool ideas, a lot of players that we talked about individually from these teams, but only one can move forward.
It's gonna be a heartbreaker of the day, but I hope everybody is ready for it. But that, of course, is everything for today. Make sure that you're here tomorrow. We're gonna have 3 fantastic matches. But until then, good luck in your ranked games. Have a great night, everyone.
Yo, check it out. Want to know if the price of those Wave Runners is too good to be true? Or if I Wear My Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks? Or if that Jordan 1 Royal Box is original? eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? Behind it is a team of independent authenticators who check. And we mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check. Every logo, every label, every lace loop. Yeah, it's checked. The luster of the leather, the topography on the tags, to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can see, and even some things you can't.
Really?
Then they tag them, log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out, with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.